Something is stirring beneath the surface of the British political landscape, and Keir Starmer can no longer ignore it. In recent days, a growing wave of public discontent has erupted forcefully, leaving the Labour Party leader visibly shaken. The unrest is spreading across the country, especially in the areas where he most needs to maintain support. And now, new data has come to light, raw, unfiltered statistics that reflect a public response no longer soothed by promises or press statements. As the political climate begins to shift, one thing is becoming undeniably clear. Starmer is caught in a storm of bad news, and the toll is beginning to show. Let's get into the details, but first, support this content by liking the video and subscribing to the channel to stay informed. A serious setback for Keir Starmer has now been confirmed. Recent data paints a troubling picture for Labour on one of the most divisive issues in UK politics, immigration policy and public spending on asylum. A powerful new visual report has been released, identifying 10 Labour-held constituencies where the majority of voters no longer support state aid for asylum seekers. And the timing couldn't be worse for Starmer. Just days earlier, an unprecedented citizens' petition demanding the elimination of financial and logistical benefits for asylum seekers surpassed the legal threshold of 100,000 signatures, forcing Parliament to address the issue in a formal session. The numbers speak volumes. Just last Tuesday, tens of thousands of citizens joined the cause, pushing the petition far past the minimum required for legislative debate. As if that weren't enough, a new YouGov poll released on Thursday delivered a crushing blow. Nearly 75% of Britons believe Labour is mishandling immigration, and over half, 52%, think the party is doing a particularly poor job. From Scotland to southern England, voters have backed the petition, a clear sign of discontent that crosses political lines. But the unrest is most pronounced in Labour's former strongholds. The very districts that once propelled Starmer to leadership are now sending him warning signals. And the situation is worsening. According to an analysis by GB News, there are 10 Labour constituencies in particular where public backlash has reached critical levels. In 10th place is the constituency represented by Labour MP Dan Carden, a figure closely associated with the Red Wall. A total of 643 people in his district signed the petition, representing 0.6% of the local population. 9th is the district of Emma Foodie, located north of the River Tyne, where 0.7% of residents backed the petition, significant given Foodie's public support for a more inclusive immigration policy. In 8th place is the area represented by Lorraine Beavers, with 658 signatures, 0.69% of the electorate. Although Beavers has acknowledged public concern around immigration and promised reforms, her statements have clearly not quelled the discontent. 7th is veteran MP Derek Twiggs' constituency, where over 662 individuals, 0.7%, signed on, suggesting a generational shift that he may be struggling to navigate. In 6th place is Anatoli's district of Redcar, with 664 signatures, 0.71%. Despite backing Labour's immigration plans, a substantial segment of her voters remain sceptical. 5th is Rachel Taylor's constituency, with 669 signatures. Although she has criticised the Conservatives' handling of immigration, pressure from within her own base is mounting. 4th is Nia Griffith's district, with 671 recorded signatures. Despite advocating a balanced approach that combines compassion with border control, many constituents are losing patience with what they see as unfulfilled promises. 3rd is Hartlepool, long considered a barometer of public sentiment. Here, 682 residents signed the petition. MP Jonathan Brash has acknowledged legitimate concerns over immigration, but opposition continues to grow. 2nd is the District of Education Minister Bridget Phillipson, where 683 people signed. Despite her high profile, public opinion appears to be shifting against her. At the top of the list is Tamworth, a constituency recently taken from the Conservatives by Sarah Edwards. In this district, 715 voters supported the petition. Tamworth made headlines last summer when a holiday inn was converted into housing for asylum seekers, a move that sparked fierce local backlash. Taken together, the message is clear. Bad news is piling up for Starmer, and the timing couldn't be worse. Immigration is once again taking center stage in British politics ahead of the next election. And most notably, it's Labour's traditional heartlands that now seem to be turning away from the party. This is no longer about isolated criticisms or scattered complaints. What we're seeing is a coordinated national mobilization with a looming parliamentary debate and mounting social pressure that shows no signs of slowing. For a leader who has tried to project strength and control, these figures represent a serious blow to his credibility. In recent media appearances, Starmer has shown visible signs of strain. He looks tired, pale, and under heavy pressure. It's a clear reflection of the erosion happening within his electoral base. Whether he likes it or not, immigration is poised to dominate political discourse in the weeks and months ahead. And if Labour fails to reconnect with voters in time, this growing unrest could become an unstoppable force at the ballot box. One thing is certain, this is far from the kind of momentum Starmer was hoping for in the final stretch. If he ever believed immigration was a vulnerability limited to the Conservatives, recent events have made one thing very clear: it could become Labour's most critical weakness too. In other significant developments, Scottish Labour scored an important win in the Hamilton, Larkhall and Stonehouse by-election, where their candidate, Davy Russell, defeated the SNP. Russell secured 8,539 votes, representing 31.57% of the total. SNP candidate Katie Iden received 7.957 votes, 29.35%. Reform UK came in third with 7.088 votes, 26.15%. The race was described as extremely close, and Scotland's Energy Minister, Mary McCallan, told the BBC that the election was a dead heat between SNP, Labour, and Reform. Voter turnout was 44.2%, with 27.155 votes cast out of an electorate of 61.485. This result marks a significant shift in South Lanark, an area held by the SNP since 2011. Labour's advance is all the more striking given the low expectations going into the contest. Russell clinched victory despite being dismissed by First Minister John Swinney, who claimed the real battle was between the SNP and Reform UK. Russell faced criticism for what some called a ghost campaign after refusing to take part in a televised debate. However, Swinney's dismissal of Labour turned out to be a miscalculation. Reform UK's anticipated breakthrough failed to materialise. Instead, voters turned away from the SNP and chose to support Labour, defying the predictions of Scottish nationalist dominance. The seat had been held by SNP's Christina McKelvey from 2011 until her passing in March of this year. The by-election was triggered by her death on March 27 at Glasgow Royal Infirmary at the age of 57. McKelvey had announced in August the previous year that she would be taking medical leave to treat secondary breast cancer. The pressure is mounting, and voters' voices are leaving a mark that can no longer be ignored. If you believe it's time for leaders to listen, make your voice heard. Subscribe to the channel, give the video a like, and leave a comment below with your thoughts on immigration policy and what you expect from the parties in this election season. See you next time.